Good morning, second grade. I know that Mrs. Hoos was talking to you yesterday about odd and even numbers. We are going to continue talking about that today. Um, it might be a little bit hard to see my TV smartboard. I'm going to do most of my work on my paper, but I will try and show you um, some of the screens so that you can follow along a little bit with me. So today we're still working on standard 208.3, and that's determining whether a group of objects has an odd or even number of members. So we can pair objects or count them by twos, and we write an equation to express an even number as a sum of two equal groups. Today's objective: I can pair objects and skip count to relate to even numbers. What that means is that today we will use our skip counting skills to pair objects. We will use skip counting to determine odd and even numbers. So my application problem today, you can see here on my screen, I have a carton of eggs. If you've been cooking at home at all, if you've been helping mom or dad or grandma or an auntie, if you've been helping them cook, we've been doing a lot of that at my house. Maybe you've seen a carton of eggs. Carton of eggs come in 12. There are 12 eggs in a container. In our problem today, Chantel's mom used one egg. The directions say, use pictures, numbers, or words to explain whether the amount left is odd or even. So I want to read that again to make sure I understand what this is asking me. Use pictures, numbers, or words to explain whether the amount left is odd or even. So I'm going to quickly draw the picture here on my paper. We know that when we draw pictures, we do them quickly. So I'm going to draw. I just do 12 circles to represent my carton of 12 eggs. Now in my problem it says Chantel's mom used one egg. So I'm going to take my marker and cross off one egg. Now I have to explain whether the amount left is odd or even. So in my problem, I started with 12. And I know from yesterday's lesson that when we count numbers, we can skip count by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So because my number ends in a 2, I know that it is an even number. So if I take 1 away, my total number of eggs left is 11. 12 minus 1 equals 11. So now I have to determine whether this amount left is odd or even. Well, I know that numbers that end in 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0 are even. This number ends in a 1. And I can also look at my picture. I can see in my picture that this is a pair, this is a pair, this is a pair, this is a pair, this is a pair. That egg is left all by itself. It is not in a pair. Therefore, we have an odd number. So the amount left is odd. I know it's odd because it's not in a pair. I have 1 by itself, and it also ends in an odd number. It has an odd number in the ones place. Okay, so now I'm going to take this sheet down. We're going to start on a new sheet. I want to make an array using columns. So I'm going to start by making one column with two objects in it. There's my first column. And down here, I'm going to write a number line. Now, looking at my first column here, I'm wondering, I have one column, but how many rows do I have? I see that I have 2 rows. Remember, rows go side to side. I have 2 rows. How many tiles do I have in each row? Well, if I look this way, I have 1 tile in this row and 1 tile in this row. So the doubles equation would be adding the number of tiles in each row. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now I have to ask myself, is 2 an even number? It is, because I can pair them up. So, as we make this array, as I demonstrate how to make this array, we're going to keep track of all of our even numbers. I want to determine if my array is keeping an even number the whole time. So I'm going to circle my even numbers as I go. So right now I have 2. I'm going to circle my 2. Now I'm going to add another column of 2. That's going to look like this because columns go up and down. Columns go up and down. So my directions are to add another column. And as I draw my own array, I'm making sure that my blocks are the same size and they're lined up evenly. Now, looking at my new array, how many columns do I have now? Well, I can see that I have 2 columns. I have 2 columns. And I look at my rows, I still only have 2 rows. Now I want to say my doubles equation. Looking at my rows, I have 2 and 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's my doubles equation, my repeated addition equation. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Is 4 an even number? I can pair that group. I can pair that group. Yes, 4 is an even number. So I'm going to circle 4 on my number line. It's an even number. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add another column. Now I have 3 columns. I still only have 2 rows. So coming here, I have 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2, 4, 6. I still have an even number, so I'm going to circle that even number on my number line. We're skip counting by 2s as we go with our array, and we're seeing if we have an even number each time. I'm going to add another column. Columns are up and down. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. I have 4 in each row. So now I'm going to add 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's my repeated addition. 2, 4, 6, 8. Fill an even number. I'm going to make one more column of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 10. That is still an even number. Now, if you have a problem where you have an array that has an even number, but you have to take one away. If I had to take away 1 square, would my array still be an array? Would it be even? Well, let's see. I compare these, I compare these, I compare these, and I compare these, but I have 1 left over. That means it is an odd number. It's an odd one out. I know that especially after Easter, my girls were looking through their Easter baskets. They wanted to make sure they each had an even number of candy. They each had the same amount. If one of them had 1 more piece than the other, they would know that it was not even, and that would not have gone well. They wanted to make sure that it was all even, that they had the same amount. So if we had to take 1 away, 10 minus 1 equals 9. We know that 9 is an odd number. Okay, now, your independent work will look a little bit like this. So this, the object of this is to pair objects and decide if the number of objects is even. So, let's take a look. Hopefully you can see my work here. Okay, so pair the objects to decide if the number of objects is even. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to draw a line. Those are a pair. Actually, maybe I'll circle them. These are a pair, and these are a pair. And I'm going to go back and circle that first pair. I don't have any extra parts, so I know that I have 1, 2, 3 pairs. I know that this is even. If I wanted to go 1 step further, I could even go 2 plus 2 plus 2. And as I skip count, 2, 4, 6, I know that 6 is an even number. Let's look at the stars. I'm going to go again, and I'm going to pair these stars up. I'm starting my pairs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Uh-oh, I have 1 extra star. That star is not in a pair. So if I have an not have a buddy that does not have a pair, I know that it's not even. And I count these 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. As I write the number 11, and I look in the ones place, that 1 lets me know that this is an odd number. It's an odd number. Let me do 1 more. The smiley face. I'm going to pair them up again. Here's 1 pair. 2 pairs. 3 pairs. 4 pairs. 5 pairs. 6 pairs. 7 pairs. Do I have any extra? I'm going to double check. I don't have any extra smiley faces. Each one has a pair. So I know that they are even. When they all have a pair, they are all even. Okay. And then what I can do down here is draw to continue the pattern of the pairs in the space below until you have drawn 10 pairs. So, this is one pair, 2 pairs. Sorry, my drawings are not going to be even, but that's okay because you can see I'm drawing pairs on top of each other. I'm up to 5 pairs. I'm up to 6 pairs. 7 pairs. 8 pairs. 9 and 10. 10 pairs leaves me with an even number. Today's lesson, we paired objects and to relate numbers. We were able to determine whether numbers were even or odd. Your work today will continue this. And again, if you reach out to your teacher, we can set up a meeting with you to help you figure this out. I hope you're all well, and we'll see you soon.